guys, this is episode 6 of the Bmoney Beastin podcast. I'm Bryson Drennan. My Instagram is the original Bmoney. And this is
Jesse Drennan at Bmoney Beastin Wrestling.
Today we're going to be talking about an all-time fantasy college draft. But
we have this cool concept. I've seen recently where Ben Askren was talking about Penn State and how they're going to have the greatest recruiting class they've ever had, and how they should do a draft in order to make it fair, because like he says, they're just going to go on a run because he used to have to develop guys. Now he's just getting the top guys. And I found that interesting, and we decided we're going to do a 1v1 draft.
with Team MB and Team Scrap.
Team MB, Team Scrap, two of our characters.
And I'll win the toss, so I get to pick Team Scrap and the team that we've got here.
Yeah, he won the toss before we started recording. So he's Team Scrap, I'm Team MB. And here's the rules. We got 125 through 285 for college weights. All time, we're allowed to bump up and down weights to fill the best possible lineup. So since you won the toss at 125, who do you pick at 125?
So I picked, obviously, Spencer Lee from Iowa. 3-time NCAA champ, 4-time NCAA qualifier. Who'd you pick?
4-time All-American.
4-time All-American. Whoops.
Team Scrap, we went with an interesting pick. Vito Arujo. Shout out to him, man. I hope he does well in the team trials. Cornell, everybody's going to say, well, he was a 2-time national champion at 33, but he also All-American at 25 in 2022. I feel like he would be really, really good when he was older at 25. Could he have made the weight? So I'm going to go with Vito. I think Vito Spencer Lee makes an interesting matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think wins that match and why?
I think Spencer Lee.
And why?
Because he's been more dominant out of his career.
But he's always wrestled at 25. I think Vito would be bigger. Do you think that would make a difference? No? So you like Spencer Lee? Okay.
I don't like him. I feel like you don't. I mean, obviously I like him, one of the best wrestlers in college history, but also he's been more dominant, and he's literally an Olympic silver medalist this year.
He is, yeah. Congrats, Spencer Lee. So Team MB, Vito, Team Scrap over here, Spencer Lee. That's a matchup at 125 we came up with. So Team Scrap, who's your 33?
For 133, I have Dan Gable from Iowa State. He's a 2-time NCAA one-time champ at 133. I'm at 130. Sorry, the weights keep confusing me. And one-time champ at 137. Total 2-time champ.
So it's hard to have an all-time list without Dan Gable on it. Now the weights were a little different back then, 130 and 137. So we put him at 133. He was at Iowa State. Dan Gable's a legend, obviously. Scratch it. That's Team Scrap's 133. Team MB's 133. I picked Logan Stieber. He was a 4-time All-American, or 4-time national champion, 2-time at 133 and 2-time at 141. So we put him at 33 because he did wrestle 33. I think due to how athletes have evolved, I think Logan Stieber beats Dan Gable. What do you think?
I think so too.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So
I have to agree with it, but
in our agreement now so far, you think that Spencer Lee would beat
Spencer? So Spencer Lee would win.
Yeah, put a W there.
Yep.
Just next to it, just put a W.
Oh yeah.
And then you think that Dan Gable would have lost. So right now,
1-1.
1-1 on the duel. So we're not gonna pick pins, text, whatever. We're just gonna say who we think would win. So then we jump to 141.
I have Yanni Diakomahalis, 4-time NCAA champ, 2-time at 141 and 2-time at 149. The reason I picked him was because, it's Yanni, 4-time NCAA champ.
He's dominant.
One of the greatest to do it. Who'd you pick?
Team MB, I picked John Smith, and I bumped him a weight. John Smith, he wrestled internationally after his college career at 62 kilograms, so that was 136.6 pounds. So that's 137 pounds. I felt like he could possibly make the trend. This is a different era, and I think athletes are bigger now. So I think he could have handled in this era 141 pounds. So I picked John Smith, Oklahoma State, 3-time national champion at 134. And he's going to wrestle the 141 weight for me at Team MB. Who wins the match?
Yanni.
You think Yanni beats John Smith?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. All right. So, but why does Yanni beat John Smith?
Have you seen how
because
Yanni wrestles?
because he's bigger.
No, have you seen how he wrestles?
Yeah,
It's so technical, dude. Like a couple of years ago, it beat the streets. He beat the India world champion guy from it as well.
Oh, no doubt he's a stud, but like John Smith created basically the low single. He's a technical guy too. Now, granted, it's era versus era, and I feel like athletes are better now than they were then.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably right. I kind of agree with that. I think it'd be a tight match. I think Yanni would win it in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, team scraps up 2 matches to 1 right now.
I remember during the Olympic trials, Yanni Diakomahalis lost to that guy from Ohio State.
Mendez.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe age had something to do with that. You had a young guy versus a guy that's been around, so that could be. But I think you're right. I think Yanni and his prime was probably just a better athlete. And in this scenario, I bumped up John Smith too, so he would be a little smaller than Yanni. So I think Yanni gets the win there. We're jumping to 149 and team scrap. Who do you got?
You got Lee Kemp from Wisconsin, 3-time NCAA champion at 158, but I bumped him down. So
yeah, Lee Kemp was a great athlete, 3-time national champion at 158. Now, coming down to 149, that is a pretty good cut. 'Cause he was probably cutting in college and everything anyway. So, but I felt like he was such a good athlete and you did too, right? When we were going through this, that he could make the transition. And it's hard to do an all-time list without him on it. He's just an all-time stud. Team Scrap had Lee Kemp. Team MB here, I picked Jason Knopf, and I bumped him down to 149. So they both are 149s bumped down a weight, right? So when Knopf was a 3-time national champion at 57, it's not as far to go 57 to 49. That 1 pound, everybody who wrestles knows that last pound's the hardest to get off. And the weight back then was 158. So I felt like kids had just a small disadvantage with that 1 pound.
Oh yeah.
But who do you think wins this match and why?
I think that Jason Knopf wins.
Why?
Just because, again, like the evolving of wrestling, but also, Jason Knopf's a bad dude, man.
But again, we're going back to era over era.
Era over era, yeah. Maybe Lee Kemp wins. Maybe Lee Kemp wins.
Lee Kemp was a definite athlete and a stud.
Even if they wrestle at 149, the weight cut's going to get to Lee Kemp too.
And you get that extra pound. So yeah, let's give the edge to Knopf because he has that 1 pound difference, right, over time. So so now we're through 149. We're tied 2 matches apiece and are opinionated here.
Yeah.
All right, we're at 157. Team Scrap, who you got?
I got Kyle Dake.
At 57. Now here's the interesting thing about Dake. He wrestled in 1 national championship, 4 different weight classes, right? But he did win at 57. What year was that?
2012.
2012. So he did win a national championship at 157, which is an interesting concept. So we just kind of put him in the middle. And Team Scrap has Kyle Dake. I picked, of course, Team MB. I picked Jordan Burroughs, Nebraska, 2-time national champion. He won 1 at 57 and 1 at 65. Now, we all know that Dake and Burroughs wrestled in the international scene over and over and over and over and over. So this would just be another Burroughs-Dake clash. Early on, Burroughs always kind of got the best of Kyle Dake. And was it a couple years ago that Dake finally got over the hump? Who wins in college, do you think?
Dake.
I agree. I think in college, Burroughs got better in the international freestyle scene. I think Dake wins in their college years. So, Kyle, we're giving it to Kyle Dake at 157 pounds.
Win, loss, win, loss, win. All right, at 165, I have Mark Schultz from Oklahoma.
Team Scrap.
Yeah, Team Scrap. Oklahoma, 3-time national champ, once at 167, and so twice at 177.
So he did win a national championship at 167 pounds? That was the weight back then?
That.
Okay. And, that's the brother of Dave Schultz. And if you look back, man, like in that time period, he was an absolute monster. And we all know about Dave Schultz and the Foxcatcher deal and all that. I have at 165 pounds for Team MB. David Taylor, Penn State, 2-time national champion at the weight, 167 pounds, 65 pounds. I feel like, and I've said this before and people disagree with me, I feel like David Taylor may be the greatest ever. And I just seen a few minutes ago, he won his first match at the team trials. I feel like from him being a four-time state champion in the state of Ohio, and then everything he did from there on, All-American national champ, world champ, everything he did, I think he may be in the argument for maybe the best ever. And now he's the Oklahoma State coach, and he's competing in the world team trials. I think David Taylor beats Mark Schultz. Again, evolution of athletes, how they were better early on. What do you think?
I don't think so.
You think Mark Schultz beats David Taylor in his prime? We're going to count this as a tie because we're going to disagree. So I think Mark Schultz is a stud. But I also think that in the scenario, I think David Taylor, he was better probably earlier than Schultz. I think that he got even better as time went on. So I would think that David Taylor would win that match. Team scrap at 174. Who you got?
Carter Starachi.
Carter Starachi.
About to be a 5-time NCAA champ.
Man, that's very possible. And he's a machine, dude. And my pick and him is going to be an interesting thought, right? Like whenever I get to it in just a second. But Carter Starachi right now with this call out and everything he's doing, he's building his brand and he's gonna end up being the ultimate villain of wrestling. You know what you think? It's pretty cool though to see. At 174, I picked Ben Askren, 2-time national champion at 174 at Missouri.
I got Carter Starachi winning this one.
Ben Askren created scrambling. If you watch some of his highlights back in the day, and he won the Hodge Trophy a couple times, and if you look at it, he would be on his head, man, and find ways to score. I tend to agree with you. I think Carter Starachi wins the match, but I think it's closer than people think, and I think Askren, during the duration of that match, something wild happens, and he pulls a takedown that probably shouldn't have happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so we agree Carter Starachi probably win that match.
Carter Starachi will win that one.
All right, we're at 184 pounds, and team scrap, who you got?
Bo Nickel.
Bo Nickel.
Bo Nickel, 3-time NCAA champ, once at 174, once at 84, and once at 97.
Since he won a national championship at the weight, that's why we agreed he could be in this weight class. I got Cale Sanderson, Iowa State, 4-time undefeated national champion.
Yeah, I got Cale Sanderson winning this one easily.
Yeah, I think Cale beats Bo.
Sorry, Bo.
We love Bo, big fan, but I think Cale Sanderson beats Bo Nickel. It's hard to say that he wouldn't. I don't know if we can find somebody, even all time, that somebody would disagree and say that would beat Cale Sanderson. He was just so dominant. So, yeah, we're going to go with Cale Sanderson, Team MB, over Bo Nickel.
At 197, I have Aaron Brooks, Penn State, 3-time NCAA champ at 84 and once at 97.
So, a 4-time NCAA champ, Aaron Brooks, who did beat David Taylor, for the Olympic trials, right? Not long ago. Stud athlete, man. I got an interesting pick here for Team MB. I picked Kurt Angle at Clarion, who was a 2-time national champion at 275. But in an interview, he had mentioned where he could have easily made 97, but he's like, I'm not cutting weight. So imagine Kurt Angle, who was dominant at heavyweight, and he was an amazing athlete. He won the Olympic gold medal. Him and Aaron Brooks at 197 pounds. Who do you have winning?
I have Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks.
Over a guy that had a broken neck and won a gold medal?
What, in the 90s?
Again, we have the time, the separation in time and evolving of athletes. You may be right. I think I would, even though, Kurt Angle said he was walking around at the time at 199.
Yeah.
So, maybe that. But then again, Aaron Brooks has got to cut down. He really didn't. I don't know. But I think I'll go with you due to the evolution of athletes from, that time period to now. So Aaron Brooks at 197 over Kurt Angle. Team scrap with the win.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to heavyweight.
I have Gable Stevenson from Minnesota, two-time NCAA champ at 285.
I got Kyle Snyder, Ohio State, 3-time national champion at 285.
Who Kyle Snyder's not beating. Sorry, not sorry.
Kyle Snyder, I think, would beat Gable Stevenson.
Dude, Kyle Snyder had a tough time with Adam Kuhn during that era. And if you look at 285, if you look at Gable Stevenson, he didn't have any trouble with any single heavyweight except for like his freshman year.
But also, I think that 285 with Kuhn was a stud too, though.
Yeah, but he just wasn't fast like Gable.
But I don't think Gable was as strong as Kyle Snyder. Kyle Snyder was like if you ever watch some of his workout videos, some of the things he can do, like physically, I think Kyle Snyder physically overpowers Stevenson. Stevenson is a great athlete, but I think Kyle Snyder would overpower him. What do you think?
I don't think so.
You don't? So we're going to call it a tie. We're going to call it a tie at 285. We disagree here. I think Kyle Snyder would beat Gable Stevenson. He doesn't. So, all
right, let's go over the scores.
Let's go over this together. We have Spencer Lee at 125 over Vito Arujo.
So that's one for Team Scrap.
Team Scrap with the win at 33. We have Logan Stever over Dan Gable. Team MB with the win. At 141, who do we have at 141?
Yanni Diakmahalis.
Yanni over John Smith. Team Scrap with the win. At 49, we had Jason Knopf over, who was it?
Lee Kemp.
Lee Kemp. So Team MB with the win. At 57, we have Kyle Dake with the win over Jordan Burroughs. This is in college. 65, we disagreed. I said David Taylor would win. You said?
I said Mark Schultz would win.
So we're going to count that as even. At 74,
Carl Strachey winning.
Over Ben Askren, we agreed on that. At 84, we had Kel Sanderson beating
Bo Nickel.
Bo Nickel. So Team MB with the win. 197.
Aaron Brooks.
We had Aaron Brooks beating basically bumping down a weight, even though he was on weight, Kurt Angle. And at heavyweight, we disagreed. Gable Stevenson and Kyle Snyder. I picked Kyle Snyder. He picked Gable Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that match. That would be an interesting match to see. All right, so that's our BNB college all-time draft.
What do you say? Why don't we play some Mat Clash?
Yeah, we're going to play a few hands of Mat Clash here to finish up the episode. That created some really cool matchups, right? I wonder, like, when you look at time over time, like, decade over decade over decade, yes, athletes have evolved, but I wonder, you will never know the answer, but I really wonder who would, like John Smith and Dan Gable and those older guys we mentioned, how they would fare in today.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's an interesting thought, so.
All right, so now Jesse's going to put down the cards.
All right. I drew a 3-point escape. He drew a 1-point 3-point takedown. He drew a 1-point escape to. So I will start the game. Takedown.
Okay, that's not bad. Defense.
No, we're gonna put it in the gate pile. All right. Takedown. Momentum. Near fall. Boom. I just went up 7-0, by the way.
Falling.
Now I'm up 8-0.
All right, ready for this one? Reversal. Momentum. Near fall.
Oh, he come back. So I'm on bottom. Escape. Now we're neutral.
Takedown.
Defense. Yeah, we'll negate that.
Stalling. You take down. No. You go.
We're neutral, right?
Yeah.
Neutral. Takedown.
Reversal.
Depend on reversal.
Well, I'll reversal that.
Ah, alright.
You haven't drawn
Reversal. No.
Escape.
Or neutral. Takedown.
Defense.
Ah.
Yeah, freaking, I didn't get any take. I only have like one takedown for him.
All right, now we're in transition. That's it. All right, so let's see what the score is here.
Bam, bam, bam. Escape. I had 7.
All right, I beat him 14-7 decision
It's crazy.
in Mat Clash. All right, man. Do you want to add anything before we close up episode 6 this week?
Well, I'm excited for the high school wrestling season to start. Me personally, think I'm gonna do pretty good.
How's the shoulder? We need to give an
It's doing
update.
pretty good. Yeah. PRP definitely helped. But guys, gonna start whenever the high school wrestling season starts. We're gonna start going over that week by week, right?
Yeah, we'll give updates on how things are going for us locally, and
How things are going throughout the state.
yeah, things like that in Georgia. But yeah, we kind of had fun. We were playing around with this idea of the whole all-time college draft. I think we kind of had fun with it. We created some cool matchups and some cool dynamics. Leave a comment. Let us know who you think would win this duel. Like, that's an interesting thing to think.
Oh yeah.
Who would win this duel? Team MB, Team Scrap, drop a comment. Episode 6 of the Bmoney Beastin podcast is
In the books.
boom. Show up.
Show out.
Show out.